We have a brand new release today from Fuzion. This is the Fortify by Fuzion. Essentially, it is a builder in a bottle, but it is professional quality. We're going to talk about it while we design my mom's new nails. We did my mom's Valentine's Day nails a few weeks ago, so we are just going to remove those right now. They held really well. They did really good for her. This is actually really early for her to be getting a new fill, in all honesty. She usually goes much longer than this, but I'm just going to take down basically all of the product because I want to do a structured manicure with this system. It is a simple 3-step system. So we have our bond, we have our construct, and then we have our top gloss. Your bond is like your primer. It's like your 2-sided tape. I had already sanitized my mom's nails, but she decided to put her hands on her lap, so I just had to re-sanitize them before I went in with the bond product. So the directions with this are a 1 to 2 coat application. It is air dry, not cured. So I am just going to go in with 1 coat here and just make sure I'm kind of scrubbing that bond product into the nail. Essentially, this is acting like a 2-sided tape, so it's going to help it adhere to my mom's natural nails as well as to the next step that we're going to do with the construct. Right out of the bottle here, I can tell that this is going to be a little bit of a thinner viscosity than some of the other builder in a bottle products that I have used, and then immediately when I start to apply it, it is runny, but it does not pool into the cuticles. It has a very interesting application. I was pleasantly surprised. You guys know how much I love a runny application for the majority of my gel products, but they can come with some risk of it running and being a little bit more difficult to work with, but that was not this at all. It was just so nice and smooth of an application. I like to put a little bit of a slip layer down and then go in with a bigger bead back and forth to create more of a structured look. I think you're gonna actually, yeah, go upside down. Turning the hands upside down before you cure it allows the gel to pool in the center and like away from the cuticles, which I didn't even have to worry about with this gel, so it was great to use in that sense. But I did want it to pool a little bit more into the center of my mom's nails, especially because she's used to wearing hard gels, so I want to make sure that we have enough structure here for her. So a few interesting points about the Construct product. So it's a new formula, and this can be used as a base coat underneath hard gels with essentially eliminating, separating, and lifting, which is huge. It is also designed to be a simple 1-step gel overlay, so like a structured manicure, but you can also use it in combination with your Fuzion colors or your Fuzion sparkles or any of your gel polishes that you have as well, which is what we're going to do with it today. My mom really wanted me to use some of this stone gel polish in a look, and I'm also going to take some of the Fuzion SL Clear Undercover that has a slight shimmer to it. First, I'm going to apply the gel polish down on her middle finger in a diagonal direction. So I'm just going to paint a super thin coat down here, and then I am going to take a brush that has just a little bit of alcohol on it and swipe a really clean line across here. My Fuzion No. 2 detailer brush is one of my favorite brushes right now. It has gotten a little bit bent, which I actually don't mind because it gets into the cuticles really nicely.
I love the various colors that you got, the schemes that you come up with. That princess.
Did you like
set?
that? That was fun.
Oh my goodness. And I didn't even know that was an apple until you explained it, and I thought, well, of course it is.
Because I tried. I'm going to do the exact same thing but in opposite directions on her middle finger on her other hand, and then I'm going to take some of the SL Clear and I'm just going to go down with a really thin layer here because this is a builder gel. It can add quite a bit of bulk to the nail really quickly, especially because I'm just trying to do like a structured manicure here, and I'm going to do the same thing on her pointer finger.
Well, Phyllis, the DIYer that I work with, that has now bought KoKo and Claire and Clear Jelly Stamper.
Oh! You let her know there'll be a local distributor soon.
I will.
Well, hopefully.
And she has binge watched your videos. She said that Talia's videos are so helpful. It's like you're actually taking a little mini course. She's going to tell you what works and what doesn't work.
Oh, that's nice.
And she says, and I pause it and I back it up and I watch it again, and she said she is, and her voice is so nice to listen to.
Oh, that's sweet. I absolutely love comments and messages and little notes like that my mom just kind of told me with her coworker, saying that my content has helped somebody, because that is where my primary motivation for it comes from. I truly want to help you guys succeed and do what I can to explain things in a really easy to follow way. So I really appreciate her telling me that story. On to the rest of the nails. I decided on the ring finger to do just a full color of the stone look. It is such a fun gel polish. And then on the thumbnails, I'm going to do diagonals as well, similar to the middle fingers. So the quartz that we are going to do is going to require a little bit of white veining. So I'm just going to mix some of this milky white type of shade for the nail. Taking a little bit of the Construct, like super thin, I'm just going to paint a layer down, and then I'm going to go in with that milky white that I created. And I was hoping this would create some like good texture and some good veining with it, and it did, because it's not quite a blooming gel, but it definitely moves a little bit, which is nice. I told Ivory she could keep them over there because I never use them.
Well, there you go.
Because when she comes over, she'll do her baby boomers, right, with these?
With blush and ivory.
Of course I need them now. I'm just going to add a little bit of rose gold foiling onto the nail after I have cured the quartz type of look. And then I'm going to go in with some other layers and do the same type of effect. So just some gel on top of it. I tried doing it dry and not putting it on top of the Construct. I didn't like this as much, but I was really just trying to create some different textures and some different layers. And the actual completed look of the quartz, I don't even want to call it rose quartz because it turned out more like a white quartz. We're going to do at the end with some art ink. So all we're doing right now is just creating our base layers with the foils and the different gels. This nail here actually turns out to be my favorite. I'm so frustrated with my camera that it keeps like going out of focus. That is on my wish list, as a new camera. But what I'm doing here is the exact same steps as before, but I decided to take a little bit of a bigger brush and make that white bleed a little bit more, and I felt like that really gave a cool look to it. And I'm also going in with some of the blush and ivory colors from Fuzion as well, because I felt like that made the rose quartz look a little bit more layered, and it was easier to marble the white and the pink together because they bleed so nicely together. I wanted to do some chrome stamping on top of some of these nails, so I'm going to go in with a matte top coat on top of them. Now, it's very important to use a matte top coat before you go in with chrome stamping, and I personally love the KoKo and Claire one because it cures tack free and it isn't too smooth of a cure. So some of the other matte top coats that I've tried, because they're too smooth, the chrome just transfers and sticks immediately to them. But the KoKo and Claire matte does not do that, and I love that I have a smooth surface to work on top of for chrome stamping. I'm going to take this rose gold chrome shade and put it on my stamper, and then I'm going to grab this lines plate. I like to do this if I'm going to do some line separating with chrome stamping. It's one of my favorite techniques right now, and I am using the CJS clear sticky polish, which I'm just so excited that they came out with a clear sticky polish. I'm going to stamp that down in between the two different gel layers there and go immediately in with my top coat. The clear sticky polish does dry super quick, so you want to work really fast with it. After I've done that is when I'm going to go in with some white art ink, and this is where I'm going to create more of my veining for the quartz design. So what I like to do when I'm doing white marbling like this is I like to go in with a thick brush with alcohol on it, put it down on the nail, and then go in with my white. That way my white starts to bleed a little bit more, and then I'm going to take the brush here and I'm just going to try and create some different lines with it by removing some of that white alcohol ink. I am using the KoKo and Claire alcohol ink here, which is very pigmented. So I find this to be one of the best ways to work with it, so you're not getting too much ink on the nail design, especially with something like this where you don't want to have a ton of bright veining. You want a lot of little smaller lines, and you want them to look more layered. So when you see me go out of frame with the brush, all I'm doing is dipping it in some alcohol and wiping it off so that it's not super runny, but still enough to create some cool veining. A couple other tips for chrome stamping, especially with the clear stamping. It can be really hard to see where you're stamping, which is actually one of the things that I like about the clear jelly stamper one, is it has a slight pigment to it, so it is easier to stamp with. But you want a stiff brush to remove the chrome after, and I will have everything linked in the description box that I show in this video, but it is a KoKo and Claire brush that works so well for removing that chrome. And then for working with the art inks, I also like to work on top of a matte surface, which is why I matted all of the nails except for the ring finger, because I knew I wanted to add some art inks on top of them, and it works a lot better on top of a matte surface, I find. So again, going in with the alcohol down first and then some of the art inks right on top, and I move my brush back and forth so that the veining of the quartz is kind of all over the nail as well. I didn't want to add too many crystals to my mom's nails, especially because it is a gel manicure, so I didn't want her to have too much bulk to it. But I am going to take some of these vintage rose crystals and put them on the ring finger, and they just add the perfect amount of pop on top of that stone nail. My last step is to just top gloss the nail design, so I am using the top coat here that came in the kit, and it works really well. It's nice and thin as well. If you're going to use it over top of chrome or stamping, you probably will have to do 2 coats of it. I did fine because I did have a little bit of separating with it, but I do like how shiny it is, and I love how nice and thin it is. So this is how my mom's nails turned out. Definitely comment below and let me know what you guys think of them. I hope I gave you some good tips and tricks for creating these quartz types of nails and sharing with you a really fun new product from Fuzion. I am definitely going to be using this on my nails next. I've been rocking some gel polish lately, and I think this is going to be the perfect addition to it, especially because I'm really happy with the formula of it. Make sure you're following me on all my social media, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!